It's Listen In with KNN, the sports sound of the district. Today, we welcome a highly touted draft prospect in the basketball ranks. He was a 5-star recruit at Little Elm High School in Little Elm, Texas. He was recruited by top NCAA Division I programs, but chose to bypass college and play one season professionally for the New Zealand Breakers of the National Basketball League. He won the gold medal as a member of the U.S. National Under-16 team at the 2017 FIBA Under-16 Americas Championship. He claimed gold once again, this time with the National Under-17 team at the 2018 FIBA Under-17 Basketball World Cup. It's R.J. Hampton. He joins this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN right now with your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. It's Listen In with KNN, the sports sound of the district. We bring you the biggest guests, great analysis, and the hottest sports stories in the nation's capital and beyond. And we bring it to you live. Welcome to this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN. Here's your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson.
Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Thanks so much for joining me for another live stream edition of Listen In with KNN, presented by Fox Sports Radio, 1340 AM and 96.9 FM. As always, I appreciate my listening audience for joining me for more sports talk. And before I get started with today's show with my very special guest, I just want to give a special thank you to all of you for all the congrats and love. I am so excited to start a new position with the Washington football team, bringing you guys digital shows, The Fit and the Life, which you all can catch every Thursday and every Friday. Make sure you check out the Washington football team social media channels for new shows that drop. Super excited for the debut, and of course looking forward to the team taking on the Arizona Cardinals tomorrow. So NFL Sunday will be great. But also going on, as you guys know, is basketball season. And so I had to bring in somebody who could talk basketball great and pretty much the future of basketball. I'm so excited. You guys probably have heard his name. He's pretty much everywhere now in all of the media headlines. He's with the New Zealand Breakers. He's R.J. Hampton, a 2020 NBA draft prospect, a projected first-round pick, only 19 years old, which is such incredible talent. So without further ado, please help me welcome R.J. Hampton to the show. R.J., how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I appreciate you joining me because you just got back in town, right? Just got back from Memphis?
I just got back from Memphis, yes.
How was your travels? Was it okay? I know COVID, it's a little different now.
Nah, yeah, it's all good.
Well, I appreciate your time. And while we're on that, I like to do a wellness check. So everything's been fine, right? I know COVID-19. Okay, good. Yeah, you're like, no, that hasn't impacted you. Yeah. We need you healthy because, of course, many people are excited to see what you'll bring. RJ, you are from Little Elm, Texas. You're doing a bunch of great stuff. But before I get into the show, of course, NBA finals, or NBA playoffs, I should say, are going on right now. Lots of great games. Of course, later tonight, many of us are looking forward to the Celtics and the Heat and what a series that has been. And of course, last night we got the Lakers and Denver Nuggets. Just tell me your overall thoughts and feelings on the NBA playoffs thus far.
I think it's been good. I've been glad to start watching back basketball, honestly. But, the way they've made the playoffs so competitive, the way everyone's playing hard, it's the best time of the year for sure.
Yeah, especially for a guy like you, who's looking to get to the next level, I'm sure. And of course, I'm sure you saw this, RJ, but there's a little controversy. Of course, we just got announced our MVP of the season. I know Skip Bayless had tweeted out LeBron James should have won the MVP. I know you retweeted that. So just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Is Giannis our real MVP, or should it have been LeBron, RJ?
I think Giannis is, deserving of the MVP, but, my MVP, who I would have chose LeBron.
Yeah, I can tell you're a LeBron fan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not be? He does everything, right?
Right.
His organization has just been so much fun. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that. And let's get into it. I mean, you have been training with two-time champion Mike Miller ahead of the NBA draft, which, of course, is on November 18th. I mean, we all remember the NBA sharpshooter that he was. Tell us how the workouts have been, how the training has been, and what you've learned in that growth process.
The training with Mike has been great. He's, definitely very hands-on. He's, dedicated to his craft even after he retired. So, coming back home, from New Zealand and getting in the gym with him, as you know, he's one of the best shooters of all time.
Yeah.
He's just trying to, mold me and create me to, in the future be one of the best shooters of all time.
Yeah, you were speaking that into existence, RJ. I see it happening. You're going to be one of the best shooters of all time. I love that. And then let's get into it. So with regards to just the 2020 draft, you kind of touched on it, but can you talk more about your performance training and, of course, just your daily core strength and conditioning sessions as you transition into life in the NBA?
Right. So, every day, usually we get it lifted in the mornings. So we'll lift in the mornings. We'll get, good strength and conditioning in. Then we'll go cardio right after. And then we'll go basketball, and then it's rehab. So, it's a full day, honestly. It's really no breaks. So, but it's good. And, when I'm down in Memphis, I get good work in with the guys I have down there. And then when I'm back home in Dallas, I get good work in too.
Good. And like I said, if anybody knows work, it's you. And obviously, I know you are no stranger to it, and you're doing fantastic at it. And just going off of that, in terms of your motivation and elevation of your ever-growing game, particularly as we near, of course, the 2020 NBA draft, can you just touch on your mentality as it relates to remaining grounded during this time and indeed becoming acclimated to using criticism as a positive catalyst to succeed in the NBA?
Right. So, I'm blessed to be in the position that I am. So, you definitely have people that are rooting for you. You have people that aren't rooting for you.
Yeah.
But I think that just drives me even more. I feel like, the hate, the criticism, that just makes me want to get up every morning and, go do it all over again. So I wouldn't want it any other way. I like it. I embrace it. So, I'm ready to prove myself because, that's what I'm here for.
Exactly. And just on that, I'm curious, do you read all your mentions and stuff, or is that something that doesn't even faze you? You don't even check for it?
Honestly, I really don't. Unless someone brings it to my attention, I probably won't do it.
That's probably good. Like, there's a lot of naysayers out there, and many people can do what you can do. So again, this is why we're excited to see you at the next level. And let's talk about your playing career. Just with regards to playing for the NBL Sky Sport Breakers, what does it mean to have a distinct advantage over those who played collegiately, let's say, who have declared for the 2020 NBA draft? And of course, just the benefactors of your added confidence from being a pro in New Zealand.
Right. Me and, as people know, LaMelo Ball, we both went to Australia, played in the NBL. I think it was great for both of us. I was on a championship contending team. Team where, I was right. And I was on that kind of team. My role was, less than his. He had his role of, being that guy for his team. I had my role of, being a role player and learning how to be a pro in New Zealand. So, it's very different, but I think we both got what we needed out of, playing professional in the NBL. And I think the edge that we have over college guys, me especially, is just the work and the grind it is every day. It wasn't easy for me. I had, 6, 7, 8 guys on my team that were competing for a FIBA World Cup just 2 months before. So
right.
We were definitely, in the gym every single day, and it definitely wasn't anything handed to me. And
that's great to hear, like you said. I mean, you're playing with pros, essentially, right? And you became pro right after high school. So I think it does have an advantage. And like you said, you learn to be a role player. I love that you touched on that because that's so important, especially as we look at the next level. And just going off of that, prior to joining the Sky Sports Breakers, I'm curious, did you ever contemplate offers from other professional clubs in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague or in the Chinese Basketball Association?
I really didn't even. I'm pretty sure I had offers to it. My dad would probably know better than me. But I was really just focused on the NBL. That's kind of the league that I sought out, and I've seen with my own eyes before, and I had a couple other offers from teams in there, but I felt like the Sky Sport Breakers were the best fit for me to become the best professional basketball player I could be.
Nice, the best professional basketball player you could be. And since you mentioned your dad, a special shout out to your dad. He's awesome and amazing. So I have to make sure we give Dad some love. And just going off of that, just as far as your influences are concerned, which NBA players, and let's do past or present, did you admire the most growing up, or did you model your game after any of those particular players?
I think, my favorite player ever is, Kobe Bryant. So, RIP Kobe. That was my guy growing up. But I think the players that I really modeled my game after would be Russell Westbrook, John Wall, Derrick Rose. So, those kind of guards, that's kind of who I always wanted to play like growing up.
I like that you touched on that, because we had a fan question kind of similar to the one I asked about who would you compare your game to, and who do you try to emulate? Any other players currently playing in the NBA, RJ, that you just try to emulate their skills?
Right, I love the way Jamal Murray is playing right now. I think he's one of the best players in the NBA at this point. I love the way that, honestly, LeBron. It sounds cliche, but LeBron is the best player in the world, and I try to do everything that he can do. He's the best player in the world, and he has been for a really long time.
Going off of that, I'm curious. Did you have a chance to watch The Last Dance at all, RJ?
I did.
And is LeBron still the GOAT, or do you have Jordan up there?
No, LeBron's the best basketball player in the world right now. Jordan's the best basketball player.
I like that. I had to ask. I didn't know if you got to watch it, but I'm sure, because a lot of the older people think we don't know that. They're like,
right.
No, we know the greatness. Give us some props for that. And just going back off of that, I think I want to go back to your time in New Zealand, just with regards to the Kiwi, and I learned that specifically for you, the Kiwi culture. What were the cultural just eye openers for you as an American playing overseas?
I think the biggest eye opener is just like everyone's so laid back in New Zealand. People just take life day by day, and I feel like America, everyone's stressing something, but it feels like they're just all stress-free, carefree, and it was honestly really cool to see, because it just felt like everyone was just a lot more happy. Yeah,
we need that now, especially as near this presidential election. It seems like people are getting more grumpy. So I think that happiness is great. And it seems like hopefully that's something you can bring back over here. Hopefully you bring that happiness and joy to us. That's just great to know. What about the food and the music? Was that much different for you to get accustomed to?
Honestly, though, New Zealand's a very Americanized, country, so it almost was the same. I mean, there was different food places. They didn't have all the fast food spots we had, but most of the food,
healthy.
Yeah, most of the food was the same, and the music was the same too. So, honestly, it was cool.
Okay, that's good. It sounds like the transition was pretty easy. And then just speaking of New Zealand, have you ever had the opportunity to watch the New Zealand All Blacks play rugby, or New Zealand's cricket and netball teams play?
I watched the All Blacks play on my first day in New Zealand. So I got in the airport maybe like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And then that night I went to the All Blacks game against the Australian rugby team.
I like that. Very cool. Very cool experience. And what a great team to watch. So exciting. I'm going to take another question from fans since we're live, RJ. He wants to ask you, in regards to your training, how much have you improved your deadlift, bench, and squat numbers this year? He wants specific numbers, RJ.
I think I've always been good, deadlift, bench, and squats. People know me as being a high flyer, athletic jumping. So, squatting's never, really, an issue for me. So I think I've improved that, a great ton.
Nice. Well, thank you for touching on that. I guess, look, people want to know the specifics. They're getting ready for you. So just going off of that, since you touched on music earlier, I'm curious, what's in your current music playlist? Like, what recording artists and songs have been in your rotation most heavily during this time period for you preparing for the draft?
I would say a lot of Drake, obviously.
Okay.
A lot of Lil Baby. A lot of Meek. And a lot of Lil Durk. So
nice. Those are some strong. I'm curious. Does he know this playlist suggestion? Does he like any of them at all?
My mom likes some more, surprisingly, but my dad will play. I mean, my dad will listen to it. He thinks, all the old rap's way better than this.
Too funny. And since you are from Texas, I'm curious. No Meg the Stallion?
I mean, if it come on, I won't turn it off, but
good.
I'm going to play it.
We got to make sure you're able to go back home. And we have another question I'll take from fans. Everybody wants to know about your workouts. People want to be like you, I guess. What are your biggest areas for growth in your workouts?
Honestly, I think, my biggest area for growth is, shooting. I feel like, I'm a good shooter, but I want to become one of the best shooters. So, that's a lot of what I'm working on right now. Working with Mike, he teaches so many things, but, everyone in the NBA, everyone in the basketball world knows Mike Miller for being, one of the best shooters of all time. So getting that chance to work out with him, that's kind of the biggest thing I'm focusing on in this process.
Nice. And a good shooter will last very long. So it's great to hear that. And now just to keep fun with it, next summer, Space Jam 2, A New Legacy, of course, starring LeBron James, who we obviously know you like now, premieres.
Right.
Do you think Space Jam 2 can match the success, both, let's say, critically and commercially, in terms of pop culture impact, like the first Space Jam did, starring Michael Jordan?
I think Space Jam 2 is going to be a great movie. I think it's going to, blow. I think it's going to blow Space Jam, the first one, out of the waters with, numbers and, money and grossing. But I don't think there's anything like Space Jam, the original. I don't think there's anything like that.
Look, it was our movie growing up.
It was my movie growing up.
And then Mike wants to actually follow up on your playlist. And I don't even know who this person is. Do you know this person, RJ?
I don't know.
Okay, good. So I'm not that old.
I don't know who that is.
Too funny. And then I just want to transition back to just the current moment in time. RJ, as an African-American, as a Black man, can you just talk about your generation, millennials? You're a millennial, right? Are you the new generation?
Yeah,
all right, we're millennials. So see, I'm still young. Can you talk about just your generation, millennials, and just the importance of young people and men and women, Black men and women, just making sure that their voices are heard during this very critical time in history, especially with the presidential election in the horizon?
For sure. I think definitely, being a Black man, having, my family's Black and my friends are Black. I think, just the main thing is if you have a platform, use it. If you can speak on, social injustice, do that. I feel like, one of LeBron's quotes is, if you're not with us, we're not with y'all. So I think if you're silent, that's an issue. So, I'm always going to use my platform to speak on the racial injustice that, Black men and Black women go through every single day. And I think, definitely you have to watch yourself out here. You have to be cautious, be careful, and, you got to, take care of one another.
I like that you said that. And just in regards to just where the country is right now, for you, what did it mean when you saw like these Confederate statues taken down across the country, or the removal of the Confederate flag, and just kind of the growth, the protests across the country? What did that mean for you, RJ?
It felt good. Being from Texas, there's a lot of that here. I'm out in the country, so I've been used to it. I've seen it all growing up.
Yeah.
But definitely seeing that there's been changes made is definitely growth. And I think nothing's gonna improve in a day, but it's gonna take over time. And if it doesn't improve by the time I'm 50, I hope it improves by the time my kids are 50. So just for anybody growing up, and the kids who look up to me, I just want them to know that.
Yeah, and I love that answer, because on that, as we talk about race relations and just political statements that have been made during this time, especially from professional athletes, can you just talk about the importance of creating unity and not division during this time, especially with Blacks and non-Blacks, as we look to kind of this as kind of the second civil rights movement, right? As we compare to one of the 1960s, just talk about the importance of unity, in your opinion, during a time like now.
Right. I think definitely unity is definitely important. I think, with, especially Black athletes, I think we all have to stick together. And like you said, non-Black athletes, I think with the non-Black athletes that are sticking with their players, sticking with, their teammates, I definitely think that's good, because you could change someone's mind. Your favorite player could be someone that, is a non-Black and that's standing with the Black community. And, it could honestly just change your mind. So we have a big role as athletes. We're looked upon as, higher than people, which we're not. But, we have to take advantage of that and, use that for, the greater good.
Yeah, I like that. Use that for the greater good. Because I'm just curious, RJ, were you inspired at all when you saw what happened with, leagues around the world, really, wearing Black Lives Matter T-shirts? We see people kneeling with the anthem. We see the implementation of Lift Every Voice and Sing into NFL games. I mean, do you think sports is going in the right way to support athletes having a voice at this moment in time?
For sure, I definitely think that sports is definitely moving in a better direction for Blacks and people to get their voices heard. And I feel like definitely me coming into the NBA, that's one of the main things I want to key on. I feel like there's a lot of Black kids that look up to me, a lot of non-Black kids that look up to me that just need to know what's right. And this isn't about just strictly Black Lives Matter. This is about what's right. And I think we all know what's right deep down in everyone's heart. We know what's right, so we have to use our platform to make it make a change.
It's refreshing hearing you say that. So young, but just so gifted and so knowledgeable. It gives me hope. It gives me faith.
You have to.
You have to have it, right?
And
it's so important, because on that, question I love to ask every athlete that I've interviewed is, do you consider yourself a role model? So I'll ask you that same question.
I do consider myself a role model. I think I first started considering myself a role model was in high school. Coming from a small town, I was the athlete. There hadn't been an athlete in this town for, a very, very, very long time, if not, really any. Actually shout out my boy Cole Beasley in the NFL. He had, but all the kids, would, come to the games, look up to me. So I definitely took on that role young as a, a ninth grade, player. But, now it's, just got even bigger. But, definitely being a role model to, every person I touch or every person I can touch.
I love that. And just on that, since you touched on your hometown, being from a small town, I always love the small town kid stories. I mean, what does it mean for you to just achieve that ultimate success? Like, what do you hope to represent for your hometown? What do you hope they know about RJ Hampton?
I mean, I love my hometown. Little Elm's that's my heart. So I definitely just want to be that role model, like you said, and, give the kids that are coming up hope. My brother's in the 6th grade. His friends, their younger brothers, their younger sisters. You can do whatever you want to do. I've coming from the same situation that they came from, and you can follow your dreams. You can make your dreams happen.
I love that. And you said you have a little brother in 6th grade. Is he having to do the virtual schooling?
He is doing virtual schooling.
Is he taking it okay? I can't imagine.
He don't really like it, but my mom, she's not having none of that.
Right, like you better go to school, get the good. And we are happy. All right, I'm going to take some more questions from fans because I'm sure, as you already know, we know from all your followers that you have a bunch of fans. So I knew this question was going to come up. He wants to ask you, where do you expect to go in the draft? Everybody wants to know that million question.
I mean, honestly, I really don't. I mean, I have no idea what team, but I feel like somewhere in the lottery. I feel like the way that my play has been this past year in New Zealand. Me working on my body, me working on my weaknesses, and taking care of my strengths, and I feel like I have the best team around me to put me in the perfect place.
Right.
I think people might be surprised when I go in the draft. I'll say that.
I like that. You might be surprised where RJ Hampton goes in the draft. I'll take another question from fans. How much creative input does RJ have with his Li Ning sneakers and gear?
Gear, I mean, my logo is, I can put my logo on, my gear with Li Ning, and I feel like I have a lot of creative decisions with, as far as my shoes. I can wear my logo on my shoes. So that's definitely one of the biggest reasons why, I chose Li Ning, because, it was a lot of, I have a creative mind. If people are on my social media, they know I have a creative mind. So I like to, have my input in certain things.
I like that, like so young, but starting so early. And I like that the creativity is key.
Right.
Just going off of that, since we're on the topic of gear and the NBA draft, the 2020 NBA draft prospect, another one, Denny, who you've also known, obviously, has been spoken highly of as a projected top 5 overall pick. And of course, I'm talking about Denny Avdija. He also has professional experience, of course, playing for 54-time, which is crazy to think about, Israeli Premier League champions, Maccabi Tel Aviv. However, just what are your thoughts on him and indeed the influx of just top European players in the NBA?
I like his game. I've watched him a couple times, on some highlights, and I think he's a great player. I think, he's definitely going to come in this league, and he's definitely going to do work. Just that professional basketball at such a young age definitely gets you ready. Not comparing him to Luka at all, but someone I look up to too. Even though he's just right around my age as Luka, I feel like he's doing what a lot of people said he couldn't, and it shows you that the professional route really can work. That was definitely a big influence on my decision to go overseas too.
Nice, that's huge to know. And just on that, what rookies impressed you the most this past NBA season?
I think John Morant. That's the guy. That's the rookie, John Morant.
Just amazing play. I mean, I'm mad we can't watch anymore now because he gave us so many buckets and just young and talented, and it just makes me excited. All right, I'm taking another question from fans over here. I saw a mock draft that had you going to Toronto. He says, I know it isn't a lottery pick, but how would you feel you would fit them?
I think Toronto's a great team. I think, they have, great players with Van Fleet and, Kyle Lowry. But I feel like I fit well with any team, honestly. I'm a guard that can do everything. I feel like I can, get downhill. I can make plays. I can shoot. I can defend. So I definitely think that, Toronto is a fit that, I would like. And I like every fit, honestly.
Yeah, I like that. Because since we're a DC-based show, I might as well ask you, we have our Washington Wizards here.
Right.
First off, have you been to DC?
I have. I was really young.
Oh, we got to get you back to DC. A lot's changed. Lots of good food, a good place. But what do you think about this Washington Wizards team if you were somehow to land and join this amazing franchise here?
I think Washington's a great team. I think just with the guys they have, Thomas Bryant, Rui, John Wall coming back, of course, Bradley Beal being, an all-star in my eyes and should have been, an all-NBA player this year.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that fit would be good. Three-line guarded with John, Brad, me. I think we'd all play well off each other. I've modeled my game after John for years. I had a fat head of him in my room. 10 years old. So that's definitely a team that I like.
Nice. I love that. And just off that, for those that are just getting a chance to know you more, RJ, and again, I appreciate your time on this show. What do you want them to know most about you?
Honestly, I think I just want everyone to know I'm a worker. I'm going to go in every day, every single day in practice, every single day in the game, and I'm going to give it, 150%. I think you can ask anyone, or, even if you watch my film, you can tell. I'm going to do the little things. I'm going to come in, early, leave late. So I'm definitely here, and I feel like I'm here to stay.
Nice. I love that. We're here. You're here to stay. So what's next for you? What training camps are you have coming up? Like anything out the ordinary that we can know about on the show?
Honestly, I'm just going to really just keep training. I think they're supposed to have maybe a pre-draft process, soon coming up, but all the details aren't really out on that. So I'm kind of confused at this point, but it should be something, in writing and paper, like concrete in the next couple of days.
Yeah. And just going off of that, since we've had a crazy NBA season like none other, of course, due to COVID, what have your thoughts overall just been seeing them play without fans? And is that something that you've thought about in case this upcoming NBA season that continues?
I mean, I'm selfish. I don't really care if they play without fans right now because I'm just watching.
Yeah.
But if I had to play without fans, I feel like that would be a bummer. But it is what it is. I mean, fans are, almost, the whole game. You feed off your crowd's energy. You feed off the opposing team's crowd. So it's definitely a lot better playing with fans. But, if it comes down to we don't play with fans, I'm still going to go out there just like I was playing with fans.
I love that, right? It doesn't bother you. You're going to produce either way. So that's great to know. And since tomorrow is Sunday, of course, football season. And since you're from Texas, I know you have to love football. First off, who's your team?
My team is the Cowboys and the Buccaneers.
Oh my gosh! All right, Cowboys and Buccaneers. So not the team I thought you were going to say, because I was going to ask you about the Ravens-Texans game, but the Cowboys overall. How do you have them doing this season, RJ?
I got them going. I got the Cowboys going like a solid 8-8, like they always do.
More the same, right? Nothing changing. Good to know. Any favorite players on the Cowboys team?
I mean, Dak, you got Zeke, CeeDee Lamb, the rookie out of Oklahoma, Amari Cooper. So those are kind of my favorite.
Nice. Well, I love that. Well, I hope you get to enjoy football tomorrow. I know you're working hard, but hopefully you get to have at least a little enjoy NFL Sunday. And again, I appreciate your time so much. And you
thank you.
Come on the show. If you come to DC, make sure you hit us up so we can let you know the great spots to go. So excited to have you, RJ. Thank you again. And before I let you leave, just any last message you have to the listening audience and the fans.
Honestly, just I appreciate all the support that my fans have given me. This journey's crazy, and I'm excited and I'm ready to get to work.
Nice. I love that. RJ, thank you so much again. Best luck with training, best wishes, and good luck in the draft.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great one.
You too.
All right, you guys just heard from 2020 NBA draft prospect RJ Hampton. A special thank you for him coming on the show. Just a phenomenal young man, and of course, we cannot wait to see him at the next level. I appreciate everyone, as always, for tuning in on this show. We'll be back on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. LaVon Kirkland will be joining me. So yes, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, that one is for you. We'll be talking all the latest and greatest in football. And of course, as always, everyone, make sure you follow me on social media. A special thank you to my team. I know there was many questions when I made my announcement. Would you continue on with the show? Yes, the show is not going anywhere. I plan to bring you all content via the show as long as I possibly can. And of course, that's why I want to thank my listening audience for always tuning in and supporting the show. So until Thursday next week, and also Tuesday next week, we'll be dropping a special audio version of the show. Be sure to stay safe, wear your face mask, and again, thank you as always for your support. So remember, Thursday, 6 p.m., LaVon Kirkland also just dropped a brand new audio version with Simone Lawrence. He's a co-captain of the Hamilton Tiger Cats of the Canadian Football League. And also Maureen McCormick, Marsha from Brady Bunch, brand new show dropping next week. A special thanks to the Special Olympics for working with me on that one. So I will see you all next week. Have a great weekend and enjoy tomorrow's NFL Sunday. And now that it's official, go Washington football team. So excited for what's yet to come. Thanks as always, guys, and have a great one. Bye-bye.
Follow Kelsey on social media at The Real K Nelson. catch episodes of Listen In with KNN on YouTube, on air at AM 1340 and 96.9 FM Fox Sports Radio, on Facebook and Twitter, and online at KelseyNicoleNelson.com. Thank you for watching this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN.
You used to hear me on your airwaves or hear me on my hit podcast, but now I'm taking you to the screen. You'll love Elevator Thoughts. We will talk the latest trending in sports. It's game time. What better way to get to know those that visit the show than over some good food and drink? It's time for confessions.